Oh hey, how's it going there everyone? I'm just finishing up reading on a new fitness tutorial for you, and this tutorial will be on plyometrics. Welcome to fitness tutorial number 7. I know it's been a while. I've been working on some other fitness projects. I wanted to return to doing some more tutorials for you. So this tutorial will be broken up into 2 parts. Part 1 will go over what plyometrics is, how it benefits you, and give you some basic exercises you can start doing with your fitness program. Part 2 will discuss more challenging and intense exercises once you have improved your abilities with the basic movements in plyometrics. So I hope you find the information useful. Let's get started. Plyometrics are rapid, powerful movements using the stretch shortening cycle. This involves stretching muscles with an eccentric contraction and then explosively shortening them with a concentric contraction to increase power and strength output. An easy way to think of this is any jumping movement you may have done, such as hopping or using a jump rope. You can also use a spring to see the stretch shortening cycle in action by compressing it and then releasing it quickly. Depressing the spring creates energy. The more compressed the spring becomes, its coil becomes stiffer. Letting go of the spring releases the built-up energy. This is similar to how your legs function when performing a jump. Why should you include plyometrics in your training? Plyometrics are one of the easiest and quickest methods to increase muscle strength, power, and speed. They can be performed by everyone at any age with sufficient fitness experience. You can see children unknowingly doing plyometrics when they skip, jump rope, and jump around while playing. They can be done using your body, require minimal space for the majority of movements, and are an excellent addition to a home exercise, athletic, or gym program. Here are some of its benefits. Beginners only need to use their body and will experience noticeable improvements in their power, speed, and cardiorespiratory endurance within 2 to 4 weeks. Increases bone and muscle mass, which is important for children, young women, and premenopausal women. Improves lower body strength and power output. Reduces risks of injuries encountered in daily life such as tripping, falling, and stumbling. It can also reduce risk of injury to the lower body in athletes, military, and first responder personnel. It is excellent for athletes involved in power sports such as basketball, golf, sprinting, and swimming due to improved nervous system activation. Before you begin plyometrics, here are some things you need to know. Plyometrics requires a lot of fundamental exercises in order to do it properly and to reduce chance of injuries. As a beginner, you should already learn the fundamental compound movements for your body, which involves pulling, pushing, hinging, and lunging type movements. If you are not comfortable or proficient with those movements, you should not try plyometrics. Before you begin plyometrics, these are the following exercises you should be proficient at. One will be the squat, the lunge. You should be able to do the lunge in all directions, so whether it's a side lunge and also the reverse lunge. Okay. You should be able to do push-ups. So push-ups on the ground. It's a good idea if you also know how to do hip hinging movements, such as the one done in the squat and also the deadlift. And you should be able to do step-ups. So step-ups would be stepping onto a box. So raising your legs up without any restrictive movement or pain. So you should be able to step onto a box, onto stairs, or maybe hiking up a hill. You should be able to do that movement proficiently. Another movement you should know is how to do calf raises properly. Okay, so proper calf raises. Before you begin plyometrics, have someone check those exercises, make sure that you're doing it properly, and then you should be ready to start with beginner type movements for plyometrics. Your cardiorespiratory system, heart and lungs, should be able to handle sudden increases in heart rate, including holding your breath during repetitive movement. You are free of any chronic, recurring, or current injuries. If you have chronic illnesses, injuries especially to the lower body and back, are overweight or obese, and have passed out before, please seek the recommendation and clearance of a professional doctor before starting plyometrics training. I'm going to go over some recommended clothing and accessories when you are doing plyometrics. When you are choosing clothing for plyometrics, you want to make sure that they are fairly loose, non-restrictive, and light. So this is a good example of something that you could wear when doing plyometrics. My top is very light and allows me free movement. My shorts are sort of form-fitting, so they don't get caught on anything when I'm doing the various movements, but they allow movement for the various jumps and other movements that you do in plyometrics. When you do plyometrics, you tend to do a lot of jumping movements going up. So you want to make sure that your arms can move freely. Sometimes you will do side jumps. So you want to make sure that your clothes allow you to do those kind of movements freely without getting caught or restricting the movement itself. Sometimes you'll do reverse movements, such as reverse jumps. Some movements are like jump roping, where you're jumping in place. So when you're spinning the jump rope, you don't want the jump rope to get caught on any loose clothing or stuff flying out. That goes the same with accessories, especially your necklace. So some people, when they're wearing necklace and they're jumping, it will bounce up. They may get caught when you're doing the movements. You want to make sure that you are not wearing any watches, any jewelry, any earrings that can get caught on your clothing, or let's say if you accidentally fall, it won't cause further injuries to yourself. When you are trying your clothes on, it's a good idea to do various movements to make sure that you are moving freely when you're going to be doing jumps, just like this. Okay, side leg raises, reverse. Okay, do some squats. Okay, can do lunges. All of this is to test your clothing and making sure that there are no restrictions when you're doing plyometrics. When you're choosing shoes, honestly, for me and what I tell my students and clients, any shoes will do. You can actually do plyometrics barefoot if you wanted to. Of course, for beginners, it's good to do it on a soft surface. But if you are a little bit heavier or you've never done plyometrics before, maybe it's good to choose shoes that have a thicker sole so that it will absorb some of the impact when you are doing the jumps and landing onto the ground. You also don't want tight shoes because you don't want excessive rubbing here, which may cause blisters and other issues with your foot. Make sure that you have a lacing system that will not come loose when you are doing plyometric movements. This is a big one that I see for my students and clients, is if they don't have a good lacing system or locking system for their shoes, it can come loose and interfere with your plyometrics training. If you feel discomfort when you are jumping and you start to feel pain or shock coming through your lower body, you can get a mat that's fairly thick and use that to do your movements on. You can also choose sand or grass or any similar soft surface that will help lessen the impact of your landing when you are doing plyometrics. As a beginner, it's not recommended to jump on hard surfaces, especially if you're not doing frequent resistance type exercises for your lower body. If your lower body, such as your feet, your ankles, your calves, your upper legs and hips are not strong enough to take repetitive impacts onto a hard surface, it will cause injuries. And I have seen this before in gym members, my students and clients. If their lower body is not strong enough to take those impacts, they do get injuries. As a beginner, it's recommended that you start with soft surfaces. Of course, soft surfaces that are not slippery and don't cause you to fall down or do erratic motions when you land on top of it. So you need to find a stable, grippy type surface that you can do your jumps on until you can proceed to hard surfaces. For this portion of the tutorial, I will go over the basic exercises you should learn to start plyometrics training. Before you begin any type of plyometrics exercises, you should do a whole body warm-up. If you have watched my video on how to do a total body warm-up, you will understand the importance of doing it before you start any exercise workout. The first exercise that we will go over is the jumping jacks. When you begin this exercise, you want to start with your feet together, your body upright, and hands at the side. All you're going to do for this exercise is push your legs out and at the same time bring your hands together. Okay, so you're going to push the legs out and the hands come together. To return to the starting position, you just push your legs back in and your hands will come back to your side. When you get comfortable with doing those moves, you want to go ahead and start increasing the speed and intensity of how you do it. So it should look like this and back. Okay, so we do it together, just like this. Okay? So basically you're just pushing out your legs and pushing out your arms to the top. Okay, just like this. Now when you become comfortable, we want to get it to where we're doing the move repetitively. It should eventually end up looking like this. When I do this movement, I tend to stay on the balls of my feet. So here, the forefeet, or the balls of your feet, is how I'm doing the movement going out. That allows me minimal contact with the ground, and I can do the exercise even faster. And we're going to go ahead and pick up the speed a little bit faster. So when you become proficient with this movement, you want to be able to do it at this speed and with intensity. You can start out with doing 10 to 20 repetitions for the jumping jacks. As a beginner, you can do about 3 to 4 sets. When you become comfortable, you can start increasing it to 25 to 50 repetitions per set, and you can go for 4 to 5 sets for this exercise. Another alternative to the jumping jacks is using a jump rope. So by doing a jump rope, you're basically doing short hops with the jump rope. Okay? There are some tutorials you can find on YouTube that will teach you how to do the jump rope properly for plyometrics. The next exercise I'm going to show you are called calf jumps. It's very easy to do. All you're going to be doing is initiating or doing a jump with your calves. Okay, so these are your calf muscles here. Alright, so we stand here, feet shoulder width apart, okay, always upright, hands to the side. To do this exercise, you can either do it with your feet flat on the ground or raise up on your forefeet or the balls of your feet. And all you're going to do is push off from those points of contact going straight up. Just keep your arms to the side and your body upright. Jump up. Okay, so try to land on your 4 feet, or if you're doing it flat on the ground, try to land back on the ground with your feet flat and your body upright. If you find yourself moving around when you land back onto the ground, you can contract your abdominal area, and that should keep your body tighter to minimize excess movements. Okay, so all I did was contract my abdominal area, and it allows me to stay upright without excess movement. When you become proficient and comfortable with the movement, you want to start forcibly pushing yourself off of the ground and using more intensity when you're doing it. So remember, plyometrics is you're trying to, when you're coming down from the eccentric portion, the downward portion, push back up as fast as you can. Just like this. Okay? We don't want to do it like that. Okay? We want to do intensity. Just like that. Okay? So when you become comfortable and better with this movement, you can increase the repetitions per set to 10, 15, and 20. You can do between 3 to 5 sets for this exercise. The next plyometric exercise we will be doing is the jump squat. As I mentioned in the beginning of the tutorial, it's important to know how to do the squat properly. The jump squat is basically a squatting movement, but you're going to push your body up into the air by jumping straight up. But for the jump squat, you can keep your hands here, okay, because you'll be throwing your arms up in the air when you do it. We lower our hips backwards. When we get to this position, we're going to feel some tension there. We're going to use that tension to jump straight up. Okay, so we're going to jump up and land back into the squat position. So we're going to do it from the side. Once again, push the hips back and jump straight up. Land back into the squat position and stand back up. So as a beginner, practice pushing hips back with control and then just jump gently upwards, just like this. Remember, quality over quantity. You want to make sure that you know how to do the movement correctly before you start progressing with more intensity. When you become proficient with it and you feel comfortable, we want to start increasing the intensity for the movement. When you're coming here, you're hinging, you want to jump back up as fast as you can. Just like that. You want to put maximal effort from that hinge and jumping back up. Okay, so here it should be maximal effort when you jump back up into the air. You can do it also repetitively. As you progress, you can start doing 10 repetitions, 15 repetitions, 20 repetitions per set for 3 to 5 sets. All right, we just finished the jump squat. Basically, it's a squat jumping straight up. The next exercise is going to be a forward jump. Basically, it's a squat again, except you're going to be moving forward when you do it. You'll start with the squat position, and instead of jumping straight up, you're going to jump forward. The only difference with this is when you are going to jump, okay, you want to go ahead and lower your body and push your arms back. When you're ready to jump forward, you're going to jump forward while swinging your arms forward. So it should look just like this. And come back up into the starting position. When swinging your arms is, you can keep this stiff, but keep the shoulders loose. Okay, so we want this to be able to move. Okay, and you keep this rigid here. Again, okay. Starting position, lower your body, arms back, and then jump forward while throwing your arms forward, just like that. Okay. Let's see if we can do it from the side here. Position and forward, just like that. So we did the jump squat, we did the forward jump, and now we're going to do the reverse jump or backwards jump. Once again, it's a squat movement, but done with a jump going backwards. All right, so the difference between a forward squat and a reverse squat is just how you use the arms. I'm going to hip hinge, push my hips back, my arms will go back, and when I'm ready to jump backwards, I'm going to throw my arms forward while I'm jumping. So, arms back, and while I am going to jump backwards, my arms go forward, just like this. So we'll try that again. Get into the squat position by hinging your hips back, arms are back, and when I'm ready to jump backwards, throw the arms forward while jumping back at the same time. Just like this. Okay. Let's see if we can do that from the side. When you're doing the jumps, try to keep your body upright. We don't want to be jumping and landing like this because it may cause you to do excess movements or by falling forward or different directions. So we want to stay upright by always keeping the abdominal area contracted. So start up easy with this move. Back. Just small jumps are fine. You don't have to do really long jumps when you're doing it. Just like the jump squat and the 4 jumps, start up with doing 5 jumps per set, 3 to 5 sets. When you become good, you can start increasing it to 10 jumps, 15 jumps, 20 jumps for 3 to 5 sets. So we learned the jump squat, the forward jump, the reverse or backward jump. Now we're going to learn how to jump sideways. When you do this jump, we want to think of it as you're actually going to jump up and to the side. We don't want it to be a sidewards movement where we're just going like this. Think of it as eventually you're going to jump up sideways onto an object, or you're going to jump over an object when you're doing this movement. All these jumps, once again, start in a squat position. All right, I'm going to step to the side to give some room for the side jumps. You can keep your arms here. Get into the squat position, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up and over when I'm doing the side jump. Just like that. You can also repeat it for the other side. Okay, squat position, jump up and over just like this. Let's see if I can do it from the side here. Squat position, jump up, over, and let's go back again. Up and over. If you are having trouble jumping up and over, you can use an object to help you jump up and sideways when you're doing it. You can use dumbbells or something similar to help you practice jumping over it. Just start here at the side, squat, jump up and over, go back to the other side. Remember, land with your feet, shoulder width apart. You can do this for 5 repetitions per side. You start with 3 to 4 sets. When you become better, you can increase it once again, 10, 15, 20 for 3 to 5 sets. A lot of the movements that I've been demonstrating have been using the lower body. The plyometrics also uses the upper body. Your arms and your shoulders and upper body is similar to how your lower body is. It has the same type of stretch shortening action. Okay? So if our upper body can do the same thing as our lower body, we can also do exercises in plyometrics using that as well. So the next move we're going to do is called ball thrusters. And ball thrusters, once again, uses the squat position, but you're going to be tossing or thrusting a ball straight up into the air. You grab a ball, okay, any ball will do, as a beginner, any ball will do, and you grip it into your hands like this. Body upright, get into the squat position, use your lower body to push yourself up and give you momentum to toss the ball straight up. Try to get the ball to land in the same spot every single time. Okay? Now when you get good with this movement, you can push the ball up faster or with more intensity. Okay? So here, just like this, and come back down rapidly. Okay? Here, to get ready for the next repetition. Here's the movement being done from the side. Okay. Ball should be in the middle of your chest, underneath your chin. Squat position, and push up with your lower body, and when you get to this point, thrust up the ball with your upper body. It should be like this. So with this one, you can start off with doing 10 repetitions, 3 to 4 sets. When you become good, of course, you can increase it more by doing 15, 20, 25 repetitions per set for 3 to 5 sets. We just did the ball thruster where we toss the ball up. Now we're going to do a ball toss where we're going to push the ball out. It's the same thing as doing the ball thruster, except you will just throw the ball straight out in front of you. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you have some distance to do this and you don't have anybody in the way or any objects that might break when you're doing it, because as a beginner, you don't know where this ball is going to go. Hopefully it goes straight, but until you become proficient with this movement, make sure the area is clear of anything that can be hit by the ball. All right, once again, squat position, ball center your chest, squat back. You're going to push up while tossing the ball forward. Okay. When you become comfortable with this movement, you want to practice throwing the ball more aggressively, with more speed, with more intensity. You can also make this challenging by using heavier balls or heavier objects. You don't just have to use a ball. There are some people that actually use stones or concrete blocks to do this movement as well. And it's probably advisable to use a soft surface to absorb the impact of the object when it lands. You can start out with doing 5 repetitions, 3 to 4 sets, and as you progress, you can do 10, 15, 20 repetitions for 3 to 5 sets. So remember, once again, it's quality over quantity. Don't get hung up on how many repetitions you do, but do each repetition with maximal effort and the movement is being done correctly. We can do another plyometric exercise with the upper body by doing something called a wall push-up. You're going to be using your arms to push off of the wall. It's similar to doing a jump squat where you're pushing off of the ground. The only difference, of course, is you're using your upper body and you are pushing off the wall. It's a good idea that you know how to do push-ups correctly before you start doing the wall push-up. Now, the wall push-up is going to lead into another exercise called the plyo push-up. This is just for beginners to get comfortable with doing the movement correctly until they're ready to go onto the ground and do the plyo push-up, which I'm going to demonstrate after this. What you're going to do is you're going to have your hands shoulder width apart, elbows in. Okay, you're going to place your hands here. You want to get on the balls of your feet. And what you're going to do is you're going to push off of the wall as fast as you can and clap your hands and land back onto the wall again. Same position, your hands should be shoulder width apart, just like your legs when you're doing the various jumps. So it should look just like this. You can start off each set by doing 10 repetitions for 3 to 4 sets. When you get good, bump it up to 15, 20 repetitions for 3 to 5 sets. Now, when you feel comfortable doing the wall push-up, we can move on to the plyometric push-up. Plyometric push-up is a more challenging version of the wall push-up. Once again, make sure that you're very proficient with the push-ups before you do this movement. What you are basically doing is you're trying to push off your body from the ground as fast as possible. So if you're having difficulties doing the normal push-up, this may not be an exercise you should be doing until you become very good with the push-up. When we do this movement, it's exactly like the wall push-up, except you will be on the ground. Once again, hands are shoulder width apart. Try to keep your elbows close to your body. Get up on the balls of your feet and make sure your body is straight. So when you're doing this, you're going to lower your body and then you're going to push off of the ground as rapidly as possible and clapping at the top. Just like that. If you notice when I landed back with my hands in the shoulder width position. This is important so that you don't fall down and hurt yourself. This will maintain stability for the position. So you repeat the movement again, lower your body, push up, pass, and clap. Just like that. Lower your body and clap. The trick to doing this movement is to push off as fast as you can from the ground so you can complete the clap and land safely back down to repeat the movement. When you're doing the plyometric push-up and you're about to begin, I recommend contracting the muscles in your body, such as your abdominal area, your glutes, and your legs. When you're doing this, you want a very stable base to perform the movement. You don't want anything loose, which may cause you to slip or fall while you are pushing up or landing back onto the ground. Push-up position, and I'm going to contract my abdominal area. I'm contracting my glutes, and I'm contracting my legs so that I have a stable position for when I do this movement. So you can tell that when I'm doing the movement, nothing else is moving around except for this part of my body. You can start off with doing 5 repetitions, 3 to 4 sets. When you get good, you try to do 10 to 20 for 3 to 5 sets. If you are unable to do push-ups or the plyometric push-ups on your feet, there is an alternative version that you can do. You may have learned from other push-up tutorials that they can also be done on the knees for beginners. So the same can be done with the plyometric push-up. So you will get into the push-up position just like this. Instead of staying on your forefeet, you will drop your knees down and cross your legs. You can also keep your legs like this too, but this prevents any loose movement when you cross your legs. And you will perform the plyometric push-up the same way. Push down and push up. Push down and push up. It's advised not to do this on a slippery surface. It might be better to do it on something that has a little bit of texture so you're not slipping back and forth. So you can see that a lot of the moves that I've been demonstrating earlier involve the squat. When you're doing these jumping movements with the squat position, we want to make sure that we are using the muscles themselves when we're doing the jump. We don't want to be using the knee for the majority of the movements. Sometimes you may have seen on social media or other people doing it, they tend to jump by just using their knees. That might be okay if you're a beginner and you don't plan on progressing further with plyometrics. But the problem is when you start jumping up onto boxes or you want to do it long term, you're going to start incurring damage to this area here on your knees. When you are doing the squats, always push back to a comfortable point here and use your legs to do the jump. Okay? Avoid jumping like this. Okay? Use the muscles to do the jumps. An important tip we want to remember when we're doing any type of jumping movement is proper placement of our legs. When you're doing the jump squat or the forward, reverse, and side jump, it is important that your legs and feet stay at least at a shoulder width position. When you are about to begin the movement, when you initiate the jump, and when you complete the landing, your legs and feet should always be in the same position every time. This will ensure proper stability for the movement and also reduce injuries from possibly slipping or falling from your stance being too narrow. If I'm going to do the jump squat, you can tell I keep my feet shoulder width apart. The feet are slightly out. When I'm getting into the position to jump up, you can see my legs stay the same. When I jump up, you can see that my legs stay in the same position, and even in the landing, they are in the same position when I complete this movement. This will apply also to other jumps that are in this tutorial. When you do a forward jump, you can see that the legs stay in the same position. When you're going backwards, reverse jump, you can see that the legs always stay at least a shoulder width position. This is very important to practice So as a beginner, you can do this by just jumping up and down in the same position until you get it to the point where it's muscle memory. You don't have to think about your legs being in this position. From working with my clients and students, and also seeing gym members when they perform plyometrics, a lot of them tend to start off the jump like this, but will, in the middle of the jump, start to bring in their legs, and when they land, they tend to land like this, and they will either fall forward or other directions, leading to a possible injury. Don't think that it will not happen. It's just a matter of time if you keep performing the position incorrectly. Always think of safety first and doing the movement with quality and making sure that your legs are in the proper position. Every time you initiate the movement and you land, and you're about to do the movement again if you're going to do it repetitively. The position of your legs is going to be very important when you start moving on to more challenging exercises such as jumping on the box. Learning how to jump and land on the box is very important so that you don't injure yourself, and also to continue into another movement. Earlier I showed you how to do your leg and feet position on flat ground. You can see it's the same when you start jumping onto the box. I will always keep my feet shoulder width apart, jump on the box. I'm going to land exactly the same way onto the box, and when I jump off the box, I'm going to land in the same position as well. Practice this on the ground until you get it down like this every single time. When you are ready to move on to the box, that's one less thing you need to worry about as far as doing box jumps. Another important tip that I can give you in regards to your workout is that you need to record every single workout you do so that you can progress. It's very simple to record your workout, and yet I find 95% of gym members do not record their workout. You cannot depend on your memory to remember what you did for your last workout. Yes, we want to think that we are very intelligent people and we don't forget things, but there's a lot of evidence showing that human memory is very poor. Recording your workouts allow you to see your performance from the previous workout and what you should do to increase performance for your next workout. As a beginner, you need to start recording it now. There is never a later time to record your workouts. A lot of people fail to progress because they're unwilling to write down their workouts and think they can depend on their memory to successfully go forward in their training. And I will tell you from years of experience, that is very incorrect. So an example of recording your workout, let's say you're gonna do jumping jacks. For day one workout, you do 50 jumping jacks. Write it down. I did 50 jumping jacks. For day two, my goal for day two workout is now to try to do 60 jumping jacks. And I'm gonna write it down. I did 60 jumping jacks. If you couldn't complete 60 jumping jacks, let's say you only did 55, at least you wrote it down, so when you go to day three workout, you know your new goal is to try to do 60 jumping jacks. Just writing down your workout allows you to have mini goals and keep track of your progress. Probably the most important tip I can give you for this tutorial, please start recording all of your workouts. It will be worth your time and give you less anxiety on why you cannot progress because you're not recording anything that you do. All right?
Planning a workout for plyometrics as a beginner is simple to do. There are no rigid rules on how to do it. The most important thing to remember is that you master the movements and are able to exert high intensity when performing each one. You can choose 4 to 5 exercises for each workout. Once your abilities improve, you can increase it to 6 to 10 exercises per workout. Start off with doing plyometrics 1 to 2 times per week. Once you have become proficient, it can be done 3 to 5 times a week depending on your training goals, workout intensity, and recovery ability.
That's it everyone for tutorial number 7, Introduction to Plyometrics Part 1. I hope you found the information useful and will motivate you to include plyometrics in your training program. If you liked my video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I will be working on Part 2, which is more intermediate plyometric exercises and intense workouts if you have become proficient with the exercises in this tutorial. Hopefully I can get that done in a week or 2. So until next time, stay safe, keep learning, aloha.